Hi, I'm Michael Quigley. I'm on a mission to help a billion people with my company Catalyst. And in this video, I want to help you if you feel like nothing's moving forward. You feel overwhelmed, motivation is low in your team, in yourself, and you're just like, as they say in Spanish, que voy a hacer? What am I going to do? What am I actually going to do? I want to help you with that in this video. So let's help you with it. There's two aspects to it. The first is perspective, which means how you see things, not how things actually are. Perspective is how you see it. And the second side is the emotional aspect. So overwhelm, that kind of like, I'm totally paralyzed. I just give up. I don't know what to do. It's usually because the perspective, the way you're seeing things is not attractive. And you might feel this horrible emotional state, flatness, just depressed, or it might be the other way. You might feel panicked, overwhelmed, really stressed out and wired. So what can you actually do? Well, the first thing that I would recommend is a technique I use called the 2%. It helps me a lot with perspective. It's very easy to lose perspective with everything that goes on in the world and all our digital devices and connectivity. So what's the 2%? The 2% is something I've figured out. 52 weeks in a year, take 2 weeks off a holiday. Gives you 50 weeks. Times by two, that's 100. So that's 100%. So therefore, if you divide it back by two or divide it by 50, every week of your year is 2% of your year for the rest of your life. That's some good perspective, right? That's a fact. Whether you disagree with it or not, you can't say that there aren't 52 weeks in a year. And what can happen with people is they have a bad week, they have a bad month, they have a bad year, and they think, well, that's it. That's it. There's no coming back from this. We've had a terrible quarter. This week has just been awful. This month's been a whole write-off. Okay, but a week's only 2%, and a month's only 8%. If I said to you, you still got 92% left, can you see how that's attractive? So if you're watching this video in April, start of April, well done, you successfully made it through the first quarter of the year. 25% of the year is gone, but 75% is still to play for. That's very attractive for your team because often with people, it depends on the team, but generally speaking, perspective comes down to, the person who's got the biggest character or the person who shouts the loudest, you know. I when I used to work with conveyancers on a Friday, it was always about completion day. It's very stressful, and that was the perspective. Whereas if you're not a conveyancer, Friday is just any other day. Can you see where I'm going with this? So use that perspective. If it's going really well, well done. You can be proud of yourself. So we've invested 2% in our year this week. It adds up to 4, 6, 8. It adds up. 25% has gone pretty quick for me in 2026. And the second thing you can do is you can reduce the time and you can reduce the effort. This is something psychologists do all the time. And I experienced this myself. It's really helpful. What you do is if you think too far ahead, it's just awful, isn't it? Especially if you're in a bad emotion and you just think, I can't even think about that at the end of the week, let alone next year or next quarter. So you reduce it down. So if you've got like bi-yearly targets, 2-year targets, think, okay, but what's a year of that? Cut it in half. And then you can just keep going depending on what's attractive to you. So you might say, well, a year's still too much for us. We can't think in that way. There's so much disruption going on. I can't even think of 6 months. Okay, so think of 3 months. You might think, I can think of 3 months. Okay, that's doable. Or you might think, no, a month would be better. Okay. And you can make it down as short as you can from a month to a week, from a week to a day. And if just today, if you think even the full day today is too much on my plate, I can't get my head around it. What I do is I break my day down to morning, afternoon, evening. So even if your morning and afternoon is really difficult and you go home in the evening, you've still got a third of the day. All right. And the second thing you can do is you can reduce the effort with it. So imagine you've got this big thing and you think there's so much to do this month on this. Yes, there is. But nobody can do a month in a day. This is where I'm going with this. You can only do so much in a day. And that's actually very attractive. You pull back on your perspective and you say, okay, I don't have to do all that today. I just have to do this bit, this bit. It's something that can be very, very missed with the kind of technology we have now, right? The interconnectivity. We forget as a human being, you only get to do a day in a day. So therefore, there is only so much you're expected to do. You don't do the elephant all in one bite kind of thing. So that can be really, really good, especially if your team, are feeling, down or morale and things like that. Say, guys, we're not expecting all this today. We're just doing this bit. And even if we do all this, we've got this hard week, it's just 2%. Okay, so those are two things that can help you. If it's a perspective issue, you got to catch yourself. You think, I don't want to project negativity on my team. Okay, so recognize that every week's only 2%. You think, that's cool because no matter how hard it is, it's only 2%, or we still got 75% of the year to play for. That really helps. And the second thing is if it's all too much, reduce down the time, reduce down the effort, and share that with your team as well. So we're not expecting all that today. We're not expecting even half of that. What? Just this bit? Yeah, just that bit. Is that enough? That's enough because that'll add up. Okay. So I hope that's helpful for you. It can be difficult. I know it can be very difficult when you feel overwhelmed. So change your perspective, yeah? Be kind to yourself. You can only do so much in one day. Try these things out, see how they work for you, right? Let me know how you get on, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.